Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Som TV podcast. I'm your host, Jason Wise. On today's episode, I have not one, but two of the most important wine communicators that have lived during my lifetime, at least. Two of my favorite people in the wine business, Cokie from Cokie's World of Wine, and my good friend and star of Som Into the Bottle, Madeline Puckette of Wine Folly. They've helped carve what wine is today, and I think really made the language of wine something that the normal person or the interested person can understand, and they've done it in a way that's frankly very funny and fascinating, and I really like these two people a lot. So I sat down with both of them at Premier Napa Valley, and we had a wide-ranging conversation. This is a funny one. We're going to talk about all sorts of topics in the wine business, so hold on to your hat. Before I do that, I do want to tell everybody, on Som TV right now, we just dropped a brand new documentary special on Casa Madero, the oldest winery in the Americas. Founded in 1597, you have to see this place to believe it. We tell the story through food, wine, culture, and history, and it is streaming right now on Som TV. So go to somtv.com and subscribe. Also, with Iran in the news, we wanted to put together a playlist of videos. We have a brand new list of videos that is streaming, showing what it's like from a winemaking perspective in the country of Iran. We do the story of Momam Tazi from Maysara Winery in our James Beard-nominated conversation about his escaping from that country with his pregnant wife and their unborn child yet, and bringing them across the border, landing in Oregon, having their family, and making one of the great wines up there. I also talked to Dariush of Dariush Vineyards up in Napa, California, and his story of leaving Iran to make wine in Napa. And then, of course, there's Cup of Salvation, where we made the first Persian wine since the Islamic Revolution. And then there's a director's commentary I did on that film that tells how we pulled that off. All of that is now streaming under our collection, Stories from Iran, on Som TV. If you are not a Som TV subscriber, go to somtv.com and immerse yourself in the greatest content you can find in the entire culinary world. somtv.com and apps on any device. Without further ado, my conversation with Madeline Puckette of Wine Folly and Cokie from Cokie's World of Wine. The fact that I have the two of you ladies here in one place is astounding. I think the collective, do I say influence the two of you have on wine currently and in the past and in the future is, I don't know of two people I can pull that are this important. Now, I go back with Madeline quite a while here. I think we started our careers at least here. Well, for sure. We filmed Som 3. In this very room, we filmed Som 3. Cokie, you sort of exploded onto the scene, in my opinion. Would you mind introducing yourself and like what it is you actually, what do you do here?
In this whole world of wine?
Yeah, what do you do?
So what I actually do day to day, let's start with that, is I wake up and I study, and then I share my study journey with people. And I think at the core, that's what I do. And how it appears to other people would be through social media, Instagram, in little short videos about the study process, and then also about wine itself. And I'm studying for a Master of Wine and Master Sommelier concurrently.
Yeah, that is extremely intense. You have a very big presence online. And where is your biggest presence? Would it be Instagram?
Instagram.
Okay. Yeah. Why do you think that happened?
Because I only post on Instagram.
Okay. Right. Okay. Very good. And I guess, Madeline, you got to do the same. I mean, anybody associated with me knows who you are because you've been in, you were one of the leads of Som 2. You were in Som 3. I'm trying to con you into being in the 5th movie in the series. And but still, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, sure. My name's Madeline Puckette, and I started in 2011. I started this website called Wine Folly. And at the time, I was a sommelier working in a restaurant. I wasn't really a sommelier, let's be clear. I was a waitress who liked to sell a lot of bottles. I liked to put bottles on tables. I was very passionate about wine, and I had become certified. The thing that I found that was different was my level of knowledge versus my customers. They didn't even have the right language to ask for what they liked. Mm-hmm. So I thought it would be really cool if we could somehow share this information that I learned on my journey of becoming a certified sommelier, that this is actually not that hard, mm-hmm. and you are totally capable of loving and liking wine and liking what you like and knowing what you like and being able to describe it. So it was a very simple It seems like a simple goal. And that's what started Wine Folly. And then it led to, it was popular. It kind of blew up like Cokie's site did. She's doing it on a different type of level, in a different type of way than we were doing it. I was a visual designer. I was not really good on camera. YouTube hadn't really taken off yet like it has. But so I was making infographics about wine, like making complex topics visually interesting. So like, you know how a picture is worth 1,000 words? That's essentially what I was trying to do with these infographics, was like very quickly lead people into the right wines. And that's what got a couple of book deals down the line. And that's when we met somewhere down the line.
I believe the first time I recall meaningfully meeting you was at the Seattle International Film Festival when Sam played there.
And yeah, and that was the first time I saw it. I was so inspired and impressed because not only did I like it, and I felt like I connected with it personally, like all the characters, their struggles, how accurately it portrayed what it felt like to try to become a master sommelier, but also everyone else in the audience connected too, and they weren't even in the industry. Like those people suddenly had a taste of what it was like to pursue this thing. And that to me was the most exciting thing, that you had somehow managed to capture a very compelling story that was a human story around the topic of wine.
I will say 99% of of the success of that movie and any success I've had is really just because it was casted well. I mean, it's made well enough, but people who are obsessed with something are interesting to watch. I mean, it's interesting to see, are they going to do it? And it's interesting to be like, I really like this person, or this person rubs me the wrong way, but I got to see how it goes.
Yeah.
And, I mean, so I really do think I was a lot of right place, right time.
The video then, like, some of the shots were amazing, and some of them were very crufty, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, it was...
Crafty, that's a good word.
It was, like, both... And at the time...
I didn't mean to make this conversation about Sam. It's just...
But at the time, film wasn't supposed to be crufty. Right?
Crufty.
Like it wasn't supposed to be that way.
Right.
But then this entire generation forward has actually gotten more
Crufty.
right. Like I just watched a movie that
Define
was shot
crafty really fast.
like it's like crafty, but like a little bit
Rusty?
rusty at the same time.
Yeah.
Crufty.
Is this not a real word? This is a real word.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Crufty.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like cinema words that are similar to that.
But I just saw a whole film that was shot on iPhone.
Yeah. Steven Soderbergh's been doing it for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
And it felt like you were there with them following someone on an iPhone.
I call that cinema verite. Sort of like, that would be like
And
a
that's
really...
kind of what that original song, I felt like I was there with those characters. Did I nail it?
Some of it, since we're just on this topic really fast, was because we had to...
Poorly built, overly complex, messy, or covered in cruft,
Oh, God.
obsolete, unwanted junk. Yeah, okay.
I see what you're going for, and I completely agree. I agree. I like it's casual and it's not overly. It's not
Produced,
overdone.
kind of
Yeah.
thing, not
Isn't that
overproduced.
kind of what your stuff has kind of been?
I mean, yeah.
First of all, you're speaking a mile a minute.
Yeah, I do have to say your education style and the way you talk is fascinating, because you talk very fast.
Yeah, it's true.
Do people talk to you about that?
A lot of people do.
I like it.
How
It's
do you
engaging.
do it?
So there's reasons for it all. Yeah.
It's engaging. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, like I think I'm such a skeptical person, and I have a very specific preferences for how I receive information, and I'm very particular, and I'm probably the most difficult person to capture attention of. And so I feel like
It's like an ADD thing. I mean, I'm a horrible ADD.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
it is. It's like
I keep telling my wife, no, I don't. She's like, But just because you're not diagnosed does not mean you don't have it worse than any person on the planet.
Completely.
Whatever.
Yeah, it totally is. So I create things that I would actually want to watch. So I think that if you...
Speaking of...
Sorry. I'm going to turn on you on the server.
So you create stuff you want to watch.
Basically. So it's like, I like to learn quickly. Everyone wants to learn about wine a little bit. A lot of people do. And I think that's also why the Somm movie had such a wide appeal, because even though it's very high level in its way, it's appealing to a huge audience because people just don't know that much about wine. And wine is so cool. And I think for Madeline and I, both of us, what led us into what we do is wanting to share something that is already cool and just explain to people why it's cool and like how to think about it in a way that is cool for them too. And so wine makes it really easy to do a good job at communicating because it's already cool. So I kind of just get excited about something and then tell people why I'm excited about it, try to keep it fast, and make them better off after they watch something than before they started. And those are kind of my principles. And as long as all of those things are happening, then I'm happy. Yeah.
Yeah. You do a great job at what you do, honestly.
Thank you.
Every time I see one of your videos, I'm like, I'm at the end of it before I realize, you know what I mean? Like you do this time, everyone says like nobody can watch something for like 5 seconds. They're like already on.
Yeah.
And part of the way you speak, I think really helps people stay on what you don't give them a chance to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's honestly, I don't know if you mean to do that or if that's just.
Well, I just think like I don't want to waste their time. So
Yeah.
I try to earn my spot in their day.
Yeah, it's funny.
That is funny. Madeline, would you say you have a little bit of ADD type mentality?
Yeah. I mean, when I was finally diagnosed, I was 31. And that sent me down a whole path of discovery, self-discovery. And it was great to know that I was finally prescribed. So some of the behaviors that I had, I could forgive myself for a little bit. But also I could now that I know what this is, I can work with it instead of against it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think I should go get diagnosed for this? It's probably time, huh?
Well, whatever you do
My
is...
wife is listening to this.
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. Whatever you do, if it is something that you think you might have, the thing to accept are what are my weaknesses, what are my true weaknesses that I have, and what are my true strengths, and how do I support my weaknesses? So if it's me, I have an amazing note-taking, scheduling, alarming system that makes sure I don't miss a meeting.
Is it
that
alarming
makes sure
or it has alarms?
that has alarms. Yeah, thank you. It's alarming.
It's also alarming.
It
I'm
is.
sure, too.
It's alarming.
I've seen it.
It's
Quite-
deep.
quite
It's
tight.
detailed.
alarming.
There's Notion documents upon Notion documents. There's databases of self-management that I've built into my life to keep myself on track. And when things go off track, I know that I have to do a lot of physical exercise. Otherwise, I get very depressed. So that's like one of the things also that I manage, which is why I ride bikes now, because it's the world's most happiest sport.
It is
To me.
it's one of the things I've noticed recently is that if you don't, I wish that I had started working out hard earlier and but it does help.
For balance.
Boy, does it help.
Yeah. When you're a super creative, like the three of us, and you're a pleaser, like you want to make people happy, it's very hard to hear critical feedback. And it's very hard and if you don't have someone in your life who's like, that critical feedback is ridiculous and is constantly reminding you that you're okay, you have to have something to allow yourself to be okay. And you got to do that. You have to do that for
And
yourself.
I think you have to protect yourself from the people or the things that make you feel weird for being that way.
Sometimes critical feedback is really good. Like with Wine Folly, there are errors in our content. And here we are trying to have the world's
errors are the worst.
We're trying to hold the world's wine information. And when there's something errorful, it
hurts.
It hurts in
Physically.
a deep kind of a way.
Yeah.
And I can name the people on my hand who have said very critical things about the work that we've done that,
All right,
that
let's
really
start.
that really hit different. And I have had to try to control my access to certain things where I know those environments will be extremely negative, because here we are trying to educate beginners, and there's a lot of times when you're educating a beginner where you're taking a very complex topic and you're going, well, most of the time it's like this, and every single time you do that, someone will come in, but remember this exception, and you're just like, yes, that's right, but that's not most of the time. Like, you're trying to protect yourself in the way you use language and that kind of thing, because wine is complex.
And there's so many topics that I personally have just abandoned trying to make
Sherry.
something because
Sherry is
no,
tough.
not like that, but
Sherry is
kind
tricky.
of. But
if you ever talk about
Oh, we've got a 30-minute piece
Eastern
on Sherry
European.
that
I love
you've
Sherry.
is
gotten
very frustrating.
Sherry's great.
no,
There's just a lot of nuances.
There's
Like,
nuance. There's
you know.
nuance. There's changes. There's people who are very particular, who are obsessed with sherry, that will make
talk
sure.
about grapes like not Pedro Jimenez. You're like, all right, fine, I get it. It's a different grape.
It's definitely nuanced. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
But what is the thing that you've given up? Well, you
Well, even like a couple days ago, I was trying to tell the story of the 2020 fires in Napa, and I just couldn't manage to put it in a way that I felt people would be okay with on the internet, and that I would be okay with ignoring the criticisms of, because you can't say most people didn't do this, and then I don't know, you just don't want to burn bridges, and I have like 400
and
drafts.
Napa's an
so.
interesting place that, I mean, speaking freely, they just don't like to acknowledge anything could be wrong ever here. And not everybody, but it's not like when you go to
There
France.
are regions like that, though.
There
like
are.
Brunello di Montalcino.
100%. That's a perfect example. Everything's perfect. Everything's great. How was it last year?
Perfect.
You're like, wasn't there a war fought here a couple years ago? They're like, no. Like, okay. But in Napa, they'll just be like, every vintage is better. In fact, I talked to Tim and Dobby just the other day, and I put it to him, like, you got to tell me the truth. Give me the shittiest vintage that Napa has had in the last 10 years. He's like, oh, we haven't had one. I'm like, Tim, stop it. What's the worst out of 10? Like, I need somebody to admit that wine goes up and down. And some regions, like if you're in the Loire, they're like, oh, this vintage is shit.
Yeah,
and you're like, and you're just like, oh,
that's
okay.
why we like.
And they're like, they're ashing their cigarette in the fermenter, and it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's so funny.
But then you go here, and then by the way, you had that vintage. You're like, this is amazing. What are you talking about? This Sancerre is incredible. But it's just like here, it's just.
I think there's a lot of
great.
money involved, right? Until people are. It's
always glorious in California.
Things matter when they're said, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the ADHD thing. I think for you, Jason, ADHD is like or ADD, whatever.
What's the difference?
It's actually a superpower. So for me, if I could get rid of it, I wouldn't. It is something that allows me, and I think other people, to focus so deeply on something, and
almost
and
to
that
obsession.
The attention is actually powerful. Like your attention jumps around, but who cares if you're focusing on the thing you're supposed to focus on, right? Like your brain is working in its own way. And I think what I like is like understanding the way that you learn and optimizing your life to fit those things. And like if you're like, everyone's world class at something, and if you're not using your
Do you really
world classness,
believe that everyone's world class?
I believe that.
That's a very positive.
I believe that for sure. And it's just about like, can you be disciplined enough in your life and work hard enough to find that thing, and then get, like, I think if you find the thing that you love so much, you would do it for free, and then get so good at it that people will pay you to do it. Like, that's just such a great way to live your life. And
Irish
I think with
dancing
ADHD, it kind of helps to make it. And also, you can't focus on things that you don't like. So therefore, it's easier to find the thing you like.
I found the hardest thing for me, and this goes back to being in middle school and high school, is turning the assignment in, finishing, being done. And that's partly why it's like, I have films that I've worked on for 7 years, and it's like, how do I end it? How do I stop working on it? And so I wonder if you struggle with that ever, is like projects. Are you like, I don't know when to stop this?
I have probably 600 unfinished videos in my drafts.
Okay.
So I'm with you. Yeah.
Okay. So this actually, I don't know if this makes me feel better. Maybe it just makes me feel like there's others. It's
Yes,
kind of how
there
I
definitely
feel.
are others.
How I feel. Is this a problem for you finishing
Madeline's
or no?
pretty.
'Cause I feel like you turn your work
She's
in.
tight.
I ship a lot. I have this like fear of not shipping.
A fear of not shipping.
Like there's like
Stuff,
I
right?
must
Shipping
produce,
stuff.
Yeah, shipping shipping results, shipping work, shipping
Physical things, or just
Like
finishing
posters.
things?
like shipping your
literally shipping them.
like no like great products ship, great art ships, like
completing things.
completing things. Like I
Oh,
must
okay.
finish them.
Craft, ship.
Craft.
You guys, this is my language.
You definitely, first of all, you do have a language. I mean, I've known you a long time.
So I feel like I have to. And I felt like when I started Wine Folly early on, I was on a cycle of doing 3 articles per week. And I was on that cycle for years. And I would work 7 days a week, making sure I could produce those 3 articles. And it resulted in a massive quantity. I don't know if it's a huge...
Thousands, right?
Thousands of articles. Comprehensive articles about the world of wine. And I learned so much in that process of continually shipping the work.
Shipping the work.
But I do have a lot of drafts. I have a lot of undone work where I've tried things, and the reason I don't ship... Now I can't not say it. The reason I don't ship is because I'm not happy with it ultimately. And that's why I end up not finishing things, is because I'm actually not satisfied to work on some kind of deep level that I can't change.
With your time.
Yeah, and I've
Other
left things, and my husband calls it a sunk cost.
Yes.
It's a sunk cost. And maybe I'll use the footage, or I'll use the idea later on, or I'll revisit.
Sunk cost.
Yeah.
That sounds so sad.
It is a sad idea.
I have
but
a
it's
lot of
this,
sunk costs, I think.
there's these, but they're
It's like
but they're
you
lessons.
can't get it back, and you're
You can't
like,
get it
you
back,
just
but you
accept it,
learn.
and it's not too bad. You just go like, oh,
But like it's weird though when your work is really big, it's like a huge, or like let's say it's a book that you wrote that you didn't end up
yeah, right.
shipping,
Yeah.
right? Like that is a huge weight. Like you said, it's a very
Have you
sad
you
thing.
haven't written a whole book. You haven't published, have you?
I'm working on a project that may or may not launch, that I'm very afraid won't launch. And I'm
Interesting.
very excited about it, but I'm also very nervous that
Is it like Wine Folly? Is it something similar-ish? I mean, that won the James Beard Award. Are you good at
I'm trying to do like the online version of Wine Folly, the book, like for realsies this time. Like, and I want to hold all of the world's wine information in a tree of data.
That
and
updates.
that is usable and easy to access and delightful. And I would really like to have that in my pocket. So probably on my phone. So figuring out how to build that and hold that all that information and architect it is like the thing I'm obsessed with.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
big,
like
big
very
task.
obsessed with it and super excited about it.
Except Sherry, though, won't be in there, thankfully.
No, Sherry's gonna be in there in a big way.
Okay, good.
In a big way.
I like Sherry. I don't have a problem with it. But Sherry nerds, those guys I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
You're not afraid of Peter or Liam, are you?
Is he? Oh yeah, he's a Sherry nerd
He
too.
wrote a
No,
book about Sherry.
I don't think I'm afraid of him. No.
Okay. You know, he has the highest Duolingo score of anyone I know.
Does that mean I should be afraid of him?
I mean,
Maybe.
when he puts his mind to something, maybe.
Yeah, he is the highest Duolingo.
Of someone I know, of anyone I know. Yeah, he's really, really good. He speaks a lot of languages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez. Do you speak more than one language?
I used to be fluent in Mandarin, actually, like Chinese.
Really?
And I can speak French a bit. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, the French I would have picked. I mean, I know the part of Canada you live in isn't French speaking, right?
No, it's not, but it's mandatory in Canada.
But you
to
learned French.
Yeah,
okay.
I did.
But Chinese, Mandarin.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Chinese, yeah.
A lot of great films in Mandarin. I'd love to listen to in their original language. I'm jealous.
Yeah. I mean, it unfortunately, a lot of it I've forgotten because I haven't practiced, but yeah, I used to
I'm
do.
sure if we drop you off in the right part of the world with a few drinks, it'll come back.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, it does for sure. It does for sure. All right, so I wanna ask you kind of, how do you keep relevant? Is this something that just works? First of all, I'm going to start with you because you are, the little younger than me certainly, and younger than Madeline
Yeah,
too.
definitely.
2000.
I find what you do to be exhausting in a way that I can't figure out how to do it. I have great social following, but I can't, this engagement and the algorithms and all this stuff. I honestly just want to walk into the ocean and keep walking when I start trying to figure out how to do this. And you were the first person who I ever met that really was good at this, Madeline, who could be like, well, the algorithm changed, so we have to adjust and do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, you're good at that.
I don't even know what, it's not that I don't, it's just, I don't, maybe when you say like you have to be interested in something to be good at it, maybe I'm just not interested in it, but boy, I can't do it. I don't know. So back to the question, how do you stay relevant? How do you keep the engagement? Because people love what you do, but sometimes it's out of your hands whether people see what you do.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, how do you do this?
So I think, I don't, it's pretty hands-off, the approach I take, even though it seems intensive. Madeline definitely has a much stronger understanding of the mechanics of the way the internet works than I do.
That's interesting then. How do you continue to choose the right path for yourself?
I just kind of do it. Like, I just kind of, like, if, I don't know, I can't do things when I'm not into them. And that's part of the ADHD part of me. I just cannot come to motivate myself. So I kind of just tell people like what's going on. I used to do only wine content and now I do a little more lifestyle. Like this is what I'm up to today, because I think people actually like that. And then when I find something that I think is cool, I just try to explain to people what it is and why I think it's cool, and in turn, like it's why it's cool for them too, in a way that doesn't leave people behind. So I'll try to never say a word that will leave people behind, like dosage or something, right? Like that's a lot of wine people know what that is. But
Sure,
as soon
of
as you say that, you lose like 60% of your audience. And you say it again, you lose another percentage more. So using those words is actually really dangerous to communication. I don't think they're that necessary. I won't even say dry without saying dry means not sweet really quick. So just making sure that you never leave someone behind, talking fast because you earn their time. And then I think at the core of anything that's good in the world, even big picture, is does it leave people better off than before they interacted with it, they bought it, they saw it, whatever. And if that is true for everything that you do, you're going to be appreciated and important to people. If you're adding value, then naturally there's going to be a place for you in the world. So I just try to make sure that my videos add value and explain things to people. Right now, it's been a lot of blind tasting, and it's a little difficult to do the kind of content I used to do, which was like, what is the Finger Lakes or something? And I also find my energy levels are a little lower than they used to be. But I think the blind tasting videos are going they're kind of popular now. Yeah, I would say I spend a lot less time actively trying to stay relevant, and I don't even know what I'm doing. I try not to think too much about it because I'll go crazy. Yeah.
Makes total sense.
But I never set out to build a following. I just made videos for my parents and their friends about the cool things I was learning, and I kind of approach it the same way. And people say, how do you capture younger audiences? And I don't really. I just make things that are approachable, and I think younger people are keen, and so it works for everyone, and particularly younger people.
This is one of the biggest problems of the question I asked you, is that you set out to do it. In a way, that's why SOM worked. I really didn't know what I was doing, meaning I was just trying to make a movie, and I thought it was an interesting story, and I never thought, could this make money or any of this stuff, or be seen? I mean, really, money's there's no money in documentaries per se, but there's enough to make maybe another one, And so when I think about what you do now, what were you going to do before this worked? Did you have a completely different path? Because now it's kind of like, this is what you do. Are you going to keep doing it forever? What do you want to do?
Like the social media, you mean?
Yeah,
I don't know. So I'm probably 95% of my energy goes to studying, and 5% goes to content. So right now, I'm pretty much what I'm doing is the exams, preparing for those. After that, I don't know what will happen, but I've always gravitated towards things that are really difficult. Like one time, my parents said, oh, you don't have a summer job yet. You really should get one. And I was like 17 or something. So then I said, okay, fine. I looked up most difficult summer job, and I found what that was.
You're like an underwater welder or something?
Well, I went to like it was like 12 hours north of Vancouver, and I lived in a tent for the entire summer, and I never went inside. And they would pick me up in a helicopter and drop me off in the middle of the forest, and drop me off with like 4,000 trees and 10 liters of water and some food. And it was like, see you in like 12 hours, plant these 4,000 trees. And that's what I did every day for the whole summer.
This is amazing. And where were you when I made the first movie?
For no reason. Like just because I wanted something difficult, and I don't know why I have that trait, but that's kind of, so I think I'll probably do something difficult after.
I was going to say, it's clearly served you well. I mean, so let's say you get your MW, right? You get your MS. You're one of a few people that have both designations.
Yeah.
And then what do you do? I
don't know. So it's so weird. A lot of people ask me this, and it's kind of a weird answer, but I have this really deep gut feeling, and I've never been so sure of anything before, but that something insanely perfect for me is going to come into my life. And I'm not one to have these weird, not that it's weird, but
like intuition.
I'm not one to have that, but I'm so sure.
Read The Secret or something?
Yeah, like something's gonna be, and I'm like, wow, I was put on the planet to do this. So I don't know what that is. But I'm happy it's not around yet, because I need to put all my energy into the exams. So
fair enough.
Otherwise, it's just a lot of time that you're spending.
It'll be funny if it turns out to be something really mundane. Like your job is just to paint better lines on the road or something. Like you didn't. Those would be good lines. Turns out you're like, yes, Lord. Here's what you're gonna go and make sure something. Yeah. Easy. Anyways, so Madeline, what about you? So you have a new book coming. Please. I'm hoping you have a new book. I've been waiting for you to have a new book.
Yeah, we need to have a new book, right? No, we don't have. I have a new book out.
Can you call it a book if it's on your phone?
There's a book. There's a new wine maps book that's really fun and delightful that we self-published. And with this new platform that we're building, what I'd like to do is build it in such a way that I can go print now and turn it into a book, essentially.
Right, okay.
So with the technology, so that we can keep an updated version of the world's wine information, or segments of it, or whatever, because the world is a big place. And that's what I'd really, really like to do. And I've been obsessed with this project since 2013. Like, that's when it started with the first book. I was like, I'll make the book as a demonstration of what I want to do online. So the book was never the goal. The book was just a demonstration of what I was trying to do in the digital space.
Yeah.
So here we are, 2026. I'm still trying to do the same damn thing since 2013. It's not done yet. And I'm like, God darn it. Like, is this my, like, I feel like I'm Jiro Dreams of Sushi. Like, I'm literally making the same sushi roll every year. I'm really trying to get there. Every year I get a little bit better at it, or the fish changes or whatever.
Or you just work on rice for another,
I work on
2
rice
weeks.
for like,
like
a
8 years before someone could
Yeah.
actually move on from the rice part. Or no,
Yeah.
before they could make rice? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like in that cycle. Like I'm learning so much about the way humans think and categorize things and organize information and connect with stuff. I'm like, it's getting psychological now. Like thinking about how you connect with wine, right? How do you actually humanly connect with? Why do we like it even? Like I'm asking really basic, dumb, awesome questions like that to try to build this thing. But I won't lie to you, it does feel like a behemoth project that may or may not net any results.
Yeah. If you weren't doing wine, what would you do? If you weren't involved in this world at all, because I don't know if you're like me, there have been some really moments where I'm like, I hate this, I need to get out of it. And then my love of history or something
there's
carries
so
me
much
back
in
in.
wine.
You know, or I meet a chemist who's like says something incredible to me. I'm like, I never thought about approaching it from that angle. So it's like, I only say that to jar your memory because I'm sure there's got to be some time you were like, I can't do this forever.
I've actually thought about that.
Yeah.
Like, well, what else would I do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God. Well, it's going to take me 10 years to get up to speed and whatever the heck that is.
That's the truth, right? Like you're such a specialist.
Right.
Why would you abandon the foundation you've built?
It'll take me a while to get up, but I might go into like what's always in the back of my mind, civil infrastructure, the way cities are designed has always maddened me and focused my energy because I'm very interested in maps and how do people connect on through the circuitry.
I can name a few cities I'd like you to go tear down and rebuild for me if you're interested.
Right, and where do we go
Talking
from
to you,
places
Houston.
that are sorry.
Sounds like there's some
I'm very interested in how things are architected, but like on a massive scale. So that would be where I would look. Like
Very
if
cool.
we're gonna build on the moon, what would we do right there? Right? Like maybe it would be thinking strategic, like not
Probably
strategic.
get cancer from the gamma rays. I'm not sure how the
conceptually
whole
like
moon
that.
thing really works.
So
but
it might end up being like a really ridiculous art project in the long run that makes no sense. But those types of things are the things that interest me, is like organizing connections. That's essentially what I'm trying to do in wine. And wine is a fascinating topic because it's not going to hurt anyone at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing I can lean back on is like, okay, I'm not a surgeon. I didn't go whoops, you know?
Yeah.
I went whoops and I just messed up a line in sherry.
Yeah.
Right. And I can fix that.
Yeah. Well, you got to deal with all the internet reply guys. And that's
and
tricky.
I respect them because they're very smart and they care a lot and they actually
keep us on our toes.
They keep us on our toes. So there's no problem there. But I didn't hurt anyone in this effort.
Yeah.
That's no pain.
Yeah. That's meanwhile, she's planting trees in the middle of nowhere by herself with a gallon of water.
Yeah.
10 liters.
10 liters
so
on
probably like
gallon.
three
in
gallons
Canada.
maybe?
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
You know, like actually also I love foraging.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. When I'm foraging, I'm like, I think I was put on the planet to do this.
What do you forage for? Mushrooms type of thing?
I've only done it once, but it was like, a couple times. Yeah, I was actually doing harvest at Walter Scott in Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, unfortunately, today we're not going to be in the cellar. We're going to go foraging. And everyone was so excited. And I was like, seriously? Like, guys, I just want to learn more about wine. And then I just like went, I had to go. I had no choice because it was all like CO2 in the winery. So I went and I laid down in the grass, like rolling my eyes for a bit. And then I started and my world just completely changed.
Yeah, foraging in Oregon is life-changing.
My
So,
God.
yeah.
I also, the other thing recently is I watched biathlon in the Olympics. And that was really cool. You know, the one where they ski and then they shoot?
The student ski, yep.
So I've started training my muscles that I would need if I were to do that because your endurance peaks around 35. So I was like, okay, well, at least I'll have a 10-year base on the lat pull.
There we
downs and
go.
Stuff. So,
Yeah.
So like, I just add those to the conversation.
So like
is
very
so good.
hard physical things.
hard, just like stupidly difficult things. And
Yeah.
I don't know why.
This
It's
is great.
weird because you're doing like really stupidly mental work right now. Well, it's actually physical work too because you're
Madeline,
training your
like
nose.
this too, though. I mean, you're biking the Dolomites, like
Yeah.
That was fucking badass, quite honestly. That was
Madeline's
fun.
Madeline's pretty
I do that, but that's for fun.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
for fun.
but-
It's type 2 fun.
Type 2 fun. I was going to say, it's not, I mean, some people are like, yeah, I want a lawn chair and I would like a nice drink and I want to look at the ocean for fun. You're like, I want to bike the Dolomites. I mean, it's just a different,
It's fun when you have other people around you
With
that
Aldo.
egg you on,
Yeah, that's true.
that want you to try harder even though you've given it all, your all. And I love that type of energy. It's like being around people who even though they're struggling, they're like, "Well, let's go." I love that. I love being around that type of energy. It really fulfills
And it's such
me.
a beautiful place here too.
Yeah,
In California to bike around too.
Yeah,
You're lucky.
Yeah, it's. I gotta get my climbing on though. There's
What? You're pretty good.
There's some big. There's riders there's some pretty skilled riders.
She doesn't
out
like
there.
to be passed by anyone when she's like,
I believe
That's
this. I
so
would,
well known.
I would be terrified to cycle with this
she's like
girl.
some girl passed me
Aldo's
today,
laughing.
so I found her on Strava, and now we're friends. And we're riding tomorrow.
Yeah, it's either
That's what
that
she
or it's
says.
like, or you'll never see her again. It's like one of the two. All right, I hate to bring up this next thing, but I got to do it. I want to talk about AI and what it means if you use it, how it's impacted you. Both of you guys, all three of us are in fields right now that a lot of people talk about. I don't really subscribe to like, oh, all the jobs are going to go away and everyone's going to die because of it. That's not my position on AI. I just think it's going to make people lazier, frankly, which scares me. But let me ask you about AI, kind of when it started creeping into what you do and whether or not you think it's going to end up mattering or taking your job or doing something like that. Big topic. I'm sorry to bring it up.
Well, it slashed our internet traffic by like 2/3. Like a big chunk of our internet traffic disappeared, which had to completely change the way we did our business because we were dependent on organic search as one of our primary organic marketing channels.
Why did it get rid of organic search? Just because Google went to AI results and so the
It
algorithm's dead?
started with the SERP, the search engine results page, and with snippets and image and packets that they do on those pages, and then they started stacking. It used to only be one ad, and then it was two, and then it was three, and now it's like 5 ads. So you're scroll, and you don't even get the first content. And then they changed the way the pages work. This is just nerdy stuff. And so if you are not on the first page, you don't exist. So that's what ate the traffic. And the traffic was how we were, sharing is caring, like coming, that traffic was how we were actually making legitimate revenue. And so that no longer works, not in the way it was. It's just,
So does AI, those snippets and ChatGPT, are they learning to answer people from your content?
oh yeah,
Oh, 100%,
absolutely.
yeah.
Referencing it all the time.
And do you get any?
No,
Nothing for that.
it's just absolutely stolen.
Yeah.
Like if we're probably the most stolen wine information.
Do you think there should be legislation for that? And do you think there would ever be? Or do you think everything on the internet is
I
fair
thought
game?
about it. If there's one thing, if we had some kind of machine level blockchain technology that a little piece of data was worth this much Google mops or whatever you want to call them. There's actually some blockchain technologies that are technically built to do this, but essentially the same thing is happening to everyone else in their media and photos and things like that. So if you have something represented on the internet and it's a chunk of data, how much is that data worth? And it would be micro pennies but if you're using that information, if an AI is using that information, they should be paying those micro pennies, and you would have a much more open.
But you can't opt out of it, though. Here's the problem. It's like they'll send you money, but it's kind of like you can't. I mean, I can put my music on Spotify and make micro pennies off of it.
Right.
But I have to put my music on Spotify. Whereas in your
to be
case,
discovered.
in your case, this is partly one of the advantages that we didn't realize we had with Som TV is we're behind a paywall. And so our data is not AI trained at the moment. So people are after us to take our stuff and train.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, how much are you paying? And it's like garbage. I'm like, no, I'm not going to sell my soul to, but you don't have an option. I mean,
No.
and honestly, ChatGPT, it's verbatim, your stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, tasting notes are straight up from your site. It's not even.
So what I started to do was I was like, well, if I was myself a decade ago, just starting out and trying to build what I would be building, how would I see this as a huge advantage? So I just started using AI. And now I can scale things way faster using AI. And I've built like if you have basically the best researcher on your side, you have the best, like it can generate pretty much anything for you, from video to images to whatever. You can prompt it and have it scale content to a degree. You lose a little bit of humanity in that. But if you're trying to build cool things, like massive cool things, AI is going to do a lot of the dumb heavy lifting that you don't actually want to do.
Sure.
And so that's what I started doing. And that's this new platform that I'm working on. I've basically validated the entire thing with my AI buddies who work against each other. Like I have them, one checking these other work, checking, like verifying, collating information for me, getting it into a place that's easy to use, and doing all the dumb heavy lifting that would take me hours upon hours to do if I was a researcher, just trudging through information. And so that's actually pretty amazing. And the amazing thing is that I've collected a huge amount of private information that I have on a private database. So I can have AI look at that information and see things that I never saw before.
How do you know it's not remembering that and sharing it with its other AI friends?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that is a risk that you take when you open yourself up to that kind of a thing. But I'm just going, what would I do if I was young and trying to get ahead? Well, I would be using AI.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm doing. I'm acting like the young version of myself and being like, I can steal from myself now. Can you pull all of Wine Follies, blah, 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 and build something better using this information? So I'm stealing from myself, right? And I'm to make something new and creative and awesome, maybe a little bit better, maybe following the original vision that I had for this company, which nobody can see because it's not on the internet.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's still inside, right? It still needs to get built. I'm still trying to make this thing, right? So it can only help me. However, there is some issues with all the things you just said.
Yeah.
How does that actually get sorted out? Well, I think we do need to have some machine level blockchain, credit where due. Credit where due needs to happen on some kind of level. If we're going to share all this information, that needs to happen. It's never happened before, and people have always been stolen from for the longest time. So to think that we can somehow be protected is asinine. You should know your best work is going to get stolen no matter what. And you should be prepared for that outcome if that's what's going to happen.
Now it's on an industrial scale, though. It's different than somebody going, I don't know, that cartoon character you made looks a lot like Mickey Mouse from 1937. We're coming after you. That's somebody making that judgment, going through the process, and then someone who borrowed and took and stole individually or on a team. Now it's like industrial. So in 1 second, somebody can take Goodfellas, the movie, and make Goodfellas, the animated series,
the next song by Garth Brooks.
100%.
Right.
Yeah. Which I don't need, by the way. I don't need any more Garth Brooks. No offense. I know you're a huge fan.
Are you?
No, that was.
No, I'm just joking.
There was a story, I think, early on that they were AI was mimicking Garth Brooks music.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
I'm referencing news. Cool.
So you're probably one of the last meaningful generations that will remember like no AI. Just didn't really.
Yeah.
And so do you use it?
I use it, yes. I, in school, read Fahrenheit 451. I don't know if you've read that, but
I'm a huge Ray Bradbury fan.
It really made me cautious early on about technology. And so, and I'm a skeptic all around. So
wait till you read 1984.
I've started reading it. Actually, I had it on my shelf for years, and I was like, I don't think I'm ready for this. It's going to mess me up. And I've started.
My boy George Orwell is
going
to scare the heck out of you for a few things.
Yeah, especially right now. I feel like it's really scary. So I'm into.
Why? What's going on?
It.
Victory.
Who knows? What was the question again?
The question is, do you use AI? I'm just curious if because look, you again.
Not for my professional stuff. Not really. I use it for studying help, but to a degree. Do I think that I don't spend so much time learning how to use AI, because also what I'm doing right now primarily is studying, which relies on understanding. And I do think there are probably ways out there I could be using it better, but sometimes I like to just like keep it pretty simple and learn and talk to people. And I'm a little bit more pulled back. I would say.
Yeah, I don't use it professionally yet either, and I keep being told by people you're going to be
Like you
obsolete.
can't afford not to.
Yeah, you can't afford not to.
And,
I'm like,
I believe them.
I'm like, yeah, you may be right, but also I make documentaries, and so it's the minute you make an AI documentary, it better not be called that, because you're supposed to have a belief that, I'm sure everything's manipulated when you watch a film, but you have to have a belief that this is true. At least the person making it thought it was true. And the minute I make a documentary about the Judgment of Paris and I recreate that scene using AI video footage, I've completely lied to the audience.
I don't think that's how you use it.
Oh, I would never. I mean,
I think it would be like going through all your transcripts and finding things that are interesting.
Sure.
Like that, like, hey,
Like
I'm
being able
looking
to
for something
search.
like this.
Yeah.
Like that's how I'm using it, is more like as a really
but
good
that's
researcher.
not really AI. That's more of a really good research cataloging thing. I mean, that would be like a card catalog when that was invented, or the Dewey Decimal System looked like that. They were like, oh my God. And now this just looks like the next to me. Now, I think of generative AI as very different than the AI you're talking about. You're talking about a database.
I feel like it would be helpful to have the definition of AI and like mutually agreed upon in general in the world, because some people, I heard this thing, and this is probably going to make me sound stupid, but I've heard this thing where people say some people think that AI is still ChatGPT, and it's like, oh, it's not. I mean, I know I'm super ignorant about it, but again, I'm mainly studying and learning myself. So AI isn't really directly it probably would. I'm probably such an idiot right now.
No,
I think
I know 50
I think there's
times
so
less
much
than you
more
do.
to know about AI, and me saying I don't use it is probably it's ignorance, I think. So I'm very open-minded, but I don't use it that much day
The
to
reason
day.
the last thing on this topic is just what makes your stuff so successful is your face, your intonation, the way you talk. And now with the advent of creating people based off of somebody else, I mean, like, you could just make yourself make more videos so you could work on studying using yourself. And how would you feel about that? Because that is literally I don't mean bread and butter, but that's what makes you successful online. If you could automate yourself making new videos and check them and redo a few things and go through and be like, all right, I mean, I talked about Sherry wrong here, so I'll fix that. But would you do that? Could you do that morally?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty stubborn. Like, there are a lot of big pieces of candy in my life that I say no to, or big things that are super cool that I say no to just because my gut tells me to not do it. And on paper, it seems like a really silly thing at times that I do that. So I'm pretty sure I wouldn't want to do that. I would probably pivot though. Like if that's what Instagram became, I think I would probably pivot into something that felt better. Like, at my core, what I chase is a feeling of adding value. And so it's very flexible. It doesn't need to be Instagram. It doesn't need to be anything. But I think wine is something I can add value with better right now. But I don't know. I don't think I would do that.
I think that's really well answered, honestly. I mean, none of us know where this is going.
No, none of us know where it's going.
And that's the other thing. It's like, to me, it's all a big venture capital world.
I feel
it's like
scared
you got to
now.
get it and get what you can while the gold is there. And I'm just like, okay, well,
That does
I
sound
missed the
right.
internet boom. I don't know. I didn't sell pets.com either. So it's like, I'll figure out. I got movies that are not done yet. I got to finish them.
Yeah. I think like both of you did something that is world class, but without the mission of being world class, right? Like, you both had a vision for something that you wanted to do in your head, and it wasn't because it didn't appear that it would make you a lot of money or any money at the time, but it was like, I want to do this because I want to do this. And I think sticking to that feeling of I want to do this because I want to do this is where like us humans are different. And I think that's actually weirdly how you do the best things. So
I think, honestly, I have a very high opinion of the younger generation. I hear a lot of people being like, whoa, they're only on their phones and they don't.
Yeah, kids are
I
all
don't
right.
agree. I think they're okay. I think they're really smart. And I honestly, I don't think they love. Nobody tells me to get off my phone more than my daughters. They're like, put your phone down. And normally
That's good.
What I hear from that generation is all they want to be is on their phone. And I'm like, that's not what I'm actually seeing. They actually want to be together, which is not, it's true. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate your time. You too. The fact that I have you in one place, what a treat. What a treat, I swear. I admire both of you guys enormously, so thank you.
And us, you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great work.
I want to thank everybody for listening. I hope you all had had your coffee this morning because that conversation was like a double shot. I want to tell everybody, please go to Som TV and subscribe, because right now we have the documentary on Casa Madero, the oldest winery in the New World, founded in 1597. Come enjoy the food and the wine of Mexico in the oldest winery in the New World right now on SomTV.com. And enjoy our playlist of stories from Iran. That Iran's in the news right now, and I really think it's very important to understand how we got there with Iran and where we might be able to go. Be safe and drink something nice. We will talk next week.